The Gloucester Park Preview is proudly presented by Retrovision. Our panel of experts will dissect the premier harness race meeting of the week and hopefully find the winners. Retrovision, lowest prices guaranteed. RAC members save an extra 5% every day at Retrovision.
It's a massive night of harness racing here at headquarters, Gloucester Park, this evening with the running of the Group 1 WA Derby and the usual panel with a slight minor adjustment to it. Joins me this morning, Glen Moore, Ollie Cownie and Richard Bell. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Riley. Looks like a really good night of racing tonight. Really looking forward to it. The Derby's going to be a fantastic race. It's really open. There's a few ways it can play out, so I'm really looking forward to dissecting that.
Yeah, we got those scratchings, Glenn. Good morning to you. It's Confidential and Sweet on Lexi. Just talk us through that.
Yeah, the scratchings were nothing to do with the plane not taking off or anything like that. It was a test done on one of the Hewitt horses, I believe, for liver fluke. And those tests, on that property, there was an issue with the liver fluke anyway. I'm not sure of the exact detail, but that prohibited the Hewitt horses from flying. There was 3 horses going on that plane, one being Royal Cruiser, one of the Nugget aspirants for a couple of weeks' time. So 3 horses were going on. Because 2 of the horses weren't going to be able to travel, left one horse with a $30,000 travelling fee for that plane trip. So it became prohibitive in terms of one horse paying $30,000 instead of $30,000 for 3 horses, let's say. So that was partly the reason, without knowing the true specifics of the issue with the liver fluke, but that's prohibited the travel, and so we had the scratchings, unfortunately. But tonight we've also got the Sam Simeon, the free-for-all, $50,000, as well as that great Derby, the Golden Nugget preview, and of course the Danish Daughter preview as well. So it's a jam-packed program, and we've got Gary Hall Jr. as a special guest on his way to New Zealand for the World Drivers' Championship as well. We touch on that. And, of course, representing WA with the Gloucester Park Gurus again in Queensland for the Ultimate Drivers Series, as well as Junior. And a few races named after him tonight.
Unfortunately, he no longer has a drive in the Group 1 this evening, but he still joins us on the program this morning as we say good morning to you, Gary.
Morning, guys. How you going?
Yeah, really well, Gary. Well, this Derby field is probably not a vintage Derby, but it's still very intriguing, and with Faking it in the race as well, and looking to be the first one since Whitby's Miss Penny to do the double. Do you think she can take it out?
Yeah, I do. I think she's got a good draw. She's probably, I don't know, her work at home at the moment probably suggests she's as good, if not better, than what she was going into the Oaks. So, yeah, I just think with, the way everything's played out and, the top 2 3-year-olds missing, then, it sort of brings her right into it, I think. But, yeah, it looks a really good race on paper. I'm sort of, while I would have loved to have been in it, I'm glad I get to sit back and watch it.
Junior chased me also in the run from Dual Senior Stable and drawn behind the one, Rumble Strip. How do you see it playing out early? There's a bit of pace out wide. Lincoln Lou comes as an emergency now, creates a bit of interest with its gate speed. Rumble Strip, barrier 1 would clearly be attempting to hold up early, and clearly the 10 horse will want the 1 horse to lead, more than likely to get that perfect position.
Yeah, I think it's a good draw for him, really. I think it's a draw that he probably needed. That he needs that sort of scenario to play out for him to be a winning chance. I think, the 25, even if he led, he would have been, he probably would have been a bit susceptible late. So, yeah, I think it's a great draw for him. I think he's probably better off having Chris on him. He's not a very nice horse to drive, but Chris won't have any problems with that, and he's probably more patient than me, so that'll probably suit him a bit better too. So, yeah, he's another one. If the 1 holds up, or even if he's 3 back over this distance, you generally sort of get a run. So, I give him a pretty good each way chance. It's a race where there's so many horses in it that could win without surprising. So, yeah, obviously the speed map's going to be the key, but it's I don't think it's quite as important when they get up over this distance and you throw a bit of money at them.
Gary, we might head back to race 1 where you've got the drive on Sweet Pins, who's drawn gate 9. He was a really good effort last start when beaten by Hillview Bondi. How do you think he'll go from gate 9?
Yeah, I think he'll run well. Certainly beaten last start, I thought. But, I would have been quite annoyed if I was Stewie. But, it's a race he can definitely win tonight, I think, even from the draw. So, favourite's racing pretty well, but he's drawn a gate where he's going to have to be used early. And I'm not sure that's exactly his cup of tea, but we haven't probably seen him in this form in his career before Boy Blue. So, maybe he's toughened up a bit. But, I still give Sweet Pins a definite chance, even though he's drawn the outside.
And maybe talking about good things beaten, the Iron Duke got off the pegs, really flashed to the line. I thought it was a very good drive in the end to get out of the situation you were in, but just missing there. And before that, he has that form line beating Chivalry, who's certainly been going well. Back to the 1700. The distance, we haven't seen it over here in WA, but did run fourth at Melton before it came over the sprint trip.
Yeah, I think his last start was good. It was by far the strongest field he'd met since he'd been here, I thought, and he performed well. The winners was too good on that occasion. I thought I got out in enough time, and I thought they'd have to come back to me. But, Sweet Lucifer went outstanding to kick on the turn like it did. So, but he sort of got to the line well. I think the distance is okay. I think he'll appreciate just a genuine tempo the whole way. But, I guess 1700, the leaders don't usually get tired in the run to the finish. So he'll have his work cut out for him. But I think I think the way he's going, he can definitely get the win. I think relatively Armour, she's been sort of knocking on the door, but that's a different ball game tonight. Again, she's going to have to be used up early, and we know she's got good gate speed, but leading. After a few runs sitting in and sort of not getting a crack at them can be different for them sometimes.
Yeah, and Junior, we go to race 3, the Golden Nugget preview with Nathan Street. Big talking point this week, Nathan Street, in terms of hasn't raced for quite some time and had some issues since it arrived in Western Australia. But Barrier 9, first up in a very strong field, and also your own stable representative, Chasing Rex, drawn 10. Right behind Blaze Away, which we will be attempting to lead. I'm not 100% convinced whether it can hold up, but your comments there, please.
Yeah, Nathan Street, he's working really good here. We were hoping obviously for a slightly better draw, but it is what it is. But I don't know about Cabernet coming out, whether that helps his cause or not, because it might have been a little bit of pace into the race. But he's got to be a chance on his work. I think he's the real deal. But it's just going to be tough in that draw. I'm not even sure how to drive him yet at this stage, but I think Blaze Away attempting to hold up is probably a good thing for us. Should be some sort of speed off the arm early, and that'll sort of help his chances late. But he seems like a very fast horse. So I wouldn't say he's overly strong, but he's definitely got a good turn of foot. So, we'll just have to play that one by ear. Chasing Rex, he was nominated for a much weaker race, but he wasn't going to get a run, but he could get a start in this field. So, pretty happy where he drew. So he should get a nice enough run. And look, if Blazeway holds up and gets away with a bit and does win the race, I'd expect Chasing Rex to be at least in the top 4.
You've got a couple of really key runners in race 4. Better Eclipse is first up for you, who was once a Chariots of Fire winner in 147, and you've got Mr. Smarty as well, who's obviously probably the class horse in Perth at the moment. What do you think of their chances?
Yeah, I give Smarty a good chance, obviously. I thought his run last start was terrific. He went probably as good as I thought he could go under the circumstances, and he's obviously going to be pretty hard to beat no matter where he lobs from that draw. But obviously with the horses outside us, we will push forward. And Better Eclipse is he's working good enough to be competitive, but I haven't been blown away with what he's done at home. But I'm not sure whether that just the expectation that come with the horse. You know, he's got $1 million in the bank, so maybe I just had too big an expectation of what he might feel like. But he does feel like a horse that probably spark up a bit more when he goes to the races, and he'll definitely improve on whatever he does tonight. But he's another one I'm pretty happy that he drew where he drew, because he's essentially a sit and kick horse, and that's a perfect draw for him first up. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
We've got Sweet Cocoa going around in race number 6. Has drawn the outside gate. Couldn't get into the race last start, Gary.
Yeah, she's racing really well. She's going good. She was a victim of the system here. After winning that $30,000 race, she had to draw out here, which is goes up 10 classes and gets the outside gate, which is it's not going to help her cause. So I'm not really sure where we go from here. And she's obviously only ranked, I think, 19th for the mares race the following week. So got to do something miraculous to jump up into the calculations, and I'm not sure how to go about it from out there. But yeah, if they run it upside down, she'll definitely be hitting the line well.
In race 7, Gary, you've got Her Presence, who was a really dominant winner there last start and was very well driven by Stewie McDonald. Can you try to do similar here?
Yeah, I would have left Senior on if I was him. It's a hard act to follow. But yeah, I thought she could win last week, but I didn't think it would be like that. And she went really good. She has been racing well, but middle of the road draw here. I'm not exactly sure where she gets to, but hard to say. She's not without a good each way chance with the form she's in and what looks like a pretty winnable race.
Stewie's reward is to jump on Velocipede at $51 there, Glenn.
Yeah, I bet he's stoked about drawing 10 too, with what it did last start.
It's a bit unruly. Your best for the night, Junior? What would you say would your best beat for tonight for the punters?
Probably, I'd say probably one of those early ones. Who was it? Maybe Iron Duke or... Nathan Street, I'd say, or Iron Duke. Probably Nathan Street.
Okie dokie.
There we go. Yeah. Gary, thanks for giving us a bit of your time this morning and joining us on the preview. Best of luck with your drives there at Gloucester Park tonight, and we'll chat again soon.
No worries, guys. Have a good day.
Gary Hall Jr. joining us there on the preview, boys. We might get stuck into race 1 on the program before we get out to Mort, and you guys can give your thoughts. The favourite in the opener, it's the Gary Hall Jr. Australian rep in the WDC Pace over the 21.30. The 1 is the favourite in Boy Blue. 2.10 into $1.55. Good support there. 2 Fielding Aces triple figures. 3 He's Good as Gold 51. 4 Sweet Ivy at 18. 5 Off the Charts 26. 6 Atlantic Gem at 31. 7 Infinite Sign 17. 8 Gatecrasher a $10 chance. 9 Sweet Pins a Drifter 3.10 to 4.20. 10 Sugar Street $11. In from 13, some specking there. 11 Middle Page 41 and 12 Heavenly Wage at 23.
Yeah, it's an interesting contest, but Boy Blue has been going well in some very strong lineups, and it looks a very promising type, this 3-year-old. 2 starts ago maybe was just an even run, but last start really found the line very strongly behind Better Fortunes, and the wins at Pinjarra were completely dominant. So I think it's got the gate speed to hold up here from the inside and do the job. 10 Sugar Street racing well, can follow through and run a nice race here. For third, I've put in Infinite Sign, number 7, who was okay last start without being exceptional. And for fourth, number 9, Sweet Pins, who's got a tough draw but continues to race well. Its last start second was a pretty good performance behind Hillview Bondi, who was just a little bit more seasoned and outstayed it late, but Sweet Pins was a very good run as well. So I've gone 1 from 10, 7 and 9.
Yeah, look, an interesting little race. The only caveat, probably, Richie, is Atlantic Gem out of the gate. Ollie has got gate speed. Could be an issue, but Boy Blue looks like a horse from one of the early replays with gate speed. It hasn't had the barrier draws generally to use it, but it'll want to take advantage of it here, and has been racing against Better Fortune and that type of horse, Western Gateway, and getting home really strongly, 27-2-28, that last quarter and a half, 55-8 against Win in Vegas, or ran on strongly with that start as well from back in the field and getting to the line strongly. Look, I'm going to tip it on top. Little concerned about Atlantic Gem early. If that does happen, that'll bring Sweet Pins into the race, be a very big danger. If something happens early, and the lead is not. Comfortable lead for Boy Blue. 1 from 9. The 10 gets that beautiful run through. Boy Blue's the leader, Sugar Street. And the 8, Gate Crasher, had that one run into the belt. Good hit out with Aiden DeCampo. Put it in the race and fought on strongly enough to suggest that it'll come forward with that run. 1, 9, 10 and 8.
I was pretty confident that Boy Blue would be able to do enough in the early stages. Atlantic Gem, she did show really good gate speed last start, but that was in a much, much lesser race. A couple of starts ago, the intentions were, based on the parade ring comments, that she would be launched at the start and look for a 4 position, and she didn't really even look like crossing. So I think Boy Blue will be able to drive through. He'll be able to lead pretty easy, and I think if he does, then he's going to be incredibly hard to catch. Sugar Street, I think, is going to get a great run on the leaders back. He was really good last start, making a long run from back in the field. He's going to be much better suited getting a leaders back run in this race. I think he's going to be hard to hold out late. And Sweet Pins was terrific last start, as Gary mentioned. Probably a good thing beaten there. Copped a lot of pressure in front and was kicking late, but Hillview Bondi was just a little bit too tough. And Gate Crusher, we saw that great vision earlier in the week with Aiden DeCampo driving that horse last start, and he did note that the horse was a bit of a gap between runs, so should be better for that outing, and I think can be hard to beat if the races run upside down. 1, 10, 9, 8.
1, 10, 9 and 8 for Ollie. 1, 9, 10 and 8 for Glen, and 1, 10, 7 and 9 for Richie as we head out to Morts.
On the Retrovision Gloucester Park preview, it is time for a Retrovision update with Glen Mortimer.
Good morning, Morts.
Morning, Riley. Good morning, listeners.
Take it away with the Retrovision update for the weekend.
It's your last chance to get up to $450 cash back on that brand new French door, quad door, or side-by-side at Retrovision. And remember, RAC members still receive an additional 5% every day at Retrovision.
There we go. Is there anything else we are covering this morning, Morts, or is that all from Retrovision?
Look, there's always plenty, Riley. There's plenty of big screens at the moment, so lots of sport. The Ash is coming up, so make sure you upgrade your large screen TV, all the big brands, Samsung, LG, TCL and Hisense. So lots to choose from, and going to give somebody a chance to win a voucher so they can go in there and get that big screen or that big French door fridge. Who Am I? Foaled in 1988. I won 28 from 76 starts, including a heat of a Perth Inter-Dominion, an Australian Pacing Championship, a Queensland Pacing Championship, and 2 heats of an SA Inter-Dominion, just to name a few.
There we go. There's our quiz question this morning. My apologies, Morts. I was going in blind this morning. But thank you for your time, and I'm sure we'll chat to you again very soon.
Thanks, Riley. Have a great weekend.
Retrovision, lowest prices guaranteed. RAC members save an extra 5% every day at Retrovision.
Thanks for bearing with me there, gentlemen, as we move on to race number 2 on the program. Before we head out to the roads for a quick break, it's the Taste of WA Nadia Both pace over the 17:30. The favourite is the 1 here as well, Relatively Armour at $2.80 in from $6. That's a good go here in race 2. The 2 Soho Vespa Lind at $7 in from $13. So they want the top 2 in the market here. 3 Me Flash at triple figures. The same about 4 My Copy. 5 The Little Master at $14. 6 Blazing Reactor $6.50 and a $4. There's been some good moves here. 7 Illawong Mustang $81. 8 Soho Moonraker $20. The 9 Rock and Roll Artist at $10. 10 Benji $34, 11 Cloud 9 triple figures, and the 12 the Iron Duke $2 out to $3.30, given a very strong push from Gary Hall Jr. Who wants to take it away in race 2, gentlemen?
Yes, Riley, look, plenty of gate speed here. Relatively Armour 1,730 metres will want to hold up. I see a bit of heat, so Vesperlin will be looking for that lead, whether it can zap from right alongside Problematical there. I thought Relatively Armour might just do enough kick up, but you've got also Blazing Reactor also can be launched out of the gate, and plenty of money for that. I'm sure it'll try and take a forward spot anyway. And you've got the Rock and Roll Artist factor. Occasionally it lets loose out of the gate. He's done it before over 1,700 as Aiden DeCampo. whether he thinks this is a bridge too far. These are all things we might be able to determine from conversations in the birdcage tonight on Racing WA Harness Twitter X. Look, I'm leaning to the one here just to do enough. Junior referred to the amount of heat out of the gate here could be an issue for Relatively Armour to be softened up and found out late, but I'm just going to lean to it on the basis that it's racing really well. If it can hold up and not get really hammered, it's going to be the one to beat. From the 6, Blazing Reactor. Now, Blazing Reactor got home really well last week, flashed late, and could be dangerous from any position here. Could take up a forward position and get some cover. The 12, Iron Duke, a big drifter because of the opening price. Even money, far too short, over 1,700. It's got to a realistic price now. 1,612 will be running on the 12. And the 2, So Vesperlind, if you can just lob in that handy position early and get a favourable spot, it could be hard to hold out in a very open race, 1, 6, 12 and 2.
I'm keen to be with the Iron Duke in this race. I thought he was terrific there last start. It was definitely a big step up in grade, and he made that step up nicely and was running on strongly behind Sweet Lucifer. They rated really fast time in that race, and I think he'll probably be better for that outing there, having had a few runs now around Gloucester Park. I think there's a stack of speed off this front line. Blazing Reactor's a horse that has excellent gate speed, and he generally gets a little bit fired up when he's used off the gate. I think 1,700, they might press forward. Soho Moonraker is another horse with gate speed, and Rock and Roll Artist is drawn 9, where you're always a slight chance of getting across at the 1,700 start point. So I'm keen to be with the Iron Duke. I've got Blazing Reactor in there. He was great last start, much better run, 1,700 suits. Rock and Roll Artist, drawn widest, but he has a bit of class on his rivals here, and I've got Relatively Armour in for 4th. There's going to be a lot of pressure in the early stages, and I do think her last couple of runs, the races have set up quite nicely for her, and she's been okay running into 3rd, but I think she might find it a little bit tricky from the inside here with a lot of pressure in the early stages. 12, 6, 9, 1.
Yeah, I agree with your assessment of her finishing efforts recently. She's been running home gamely without being brilliant, Relatively Armour. I think there's a lot of heat here. I think she's the lay of the night, Relatively Armour. I think there's enough quality here to suggest that she should not be a $3 chance or $3.20.
Plenty of money for her.
There has been, but she's got out again a little bit late on various sites. So I'm going to go with Soho Vesperlind here. This is a horse who's gone from probably being overrated when it first started to being a bit underrated now, and gee, some of its runs recently have been exceptional. It's got very good gate speed. It can sit and sprint as well. I thought the last effort was great behind Armour X Factor and Penny Black. I think that form stacks up really well here. Blazing Reactor was very good. It was the only horse to come out of the pack last start. A different race shape over the 2130 where they only got home in 29.2, but still I thought it was an exceptional effort to make those sort of inroads over the final 400 metres. The Iron Duke's got to be a super chance. Ollie's got it on top. It's going to be dependent on how much heat and the flow that Gary can get into this race. And for 4th, I'll put in Relatively Armour just to cling on there. But I've gone 2 from 6, 12 and 1.
2, 6, 12 and 1 there for Richie. Glenn's 1, 6, 12 and 2. And Ollie 12, 6, 9 and 1 in race 2 on the program. Time to head out to the roads for the final time. Welcome back to the Gloucester Park preview. Now, just regarding Mortz's quiz, Desperate Comment has been a very popular answer, and Mortz has now confirmed with me, Glenn, that it is in fact the correct answer.
Right, okay.
As well. So, Desperate Comment, and the first texter to fire that one in was Sam. So Sam is our winner of the quiz on this Friday morning. So we'll make sure we'll get your details, Sam, at the end of the show. But we do need to press on to race number 3 on the program here. It's the Follow It Sky Racing AU on X 4-year-old Golden Nugget preview. The one Blaze Away 11 into 380. There has been a scratching here to take note of. The 7 comes out. 2 Cover Note triple figures. 3 Dark Eyes 34. 4 Dawson triple figures. 5 Copycat Queen 260. 6 Maximum Rock at 34. 8 Chualoo at $6. Given a strong push from Greg Bond on drive earlier this week. The 9 Nathan Street $5.50 to $3.60. 10 Chasing Rex, $11, has been spec'd from $34. The 11 Opal Hunter at $14 and 12 Pete's Honour at $71. Ollie, if you wanted to open the batting here for race number 3.
It's a really interesting race, this one. There's probably a few chances. I was keen to be with Nathan Street. This horse, as a juvenile horse, showed a lot of ability and looked really promising, and then for a period of time maybe lost his way and did a few things wrong. But he starts here first up for the whole camp, and I think if he is anywhere near his best, he's going to be incredibly hard to beat in a race like this. Gate 9 is certainly a bit of a query, but I think if he gets a decent run, he's going to be hard to hold out. Tualoo was a great winner last start, really dominant win, was good first up as well, comes into this race third up, and I think he's nearing his best, and he's going to really be peaking in that Golden Nugget, which is coming up. I think if there's a bit of speed on, he can certainly be running into it late. Copycat Queen, we know her pattern. She's a sit sprinter, so if the speed is on, she can be running on. I think she'll need plenty of speed on. She might get a long way back, but she has been super this time in, so has to be respected. And Blaze Away, he grows a leg when he's out in front. He has the good draw. I think the intention will be to hold up and try and lead all the way. I think he'll get every chance from there. 9, 8, 5, 1.
Yeah, coming back from the 25 to the 21, Tualoo. Copycat Queen has a marvellous record over this distance with 7 wins, 3 placings from 19 runs. And I just think Aiden will be able to get this horse into the right position tonight. And on what she's done recently, I think she'll take all the holding out here. Number 5, Copycat Queen. To beat number 9, Nathan Street. It's a good push there from Gary. It should be sizzling home. Maybe held up for one run and really charging. Tualoo, hard to leave it out. They're all strong finishers, though, so you wouldn't want Blaze Away to be getting away with too much. Blaze Away in for 4th. The other one maybe is Opal Hunter. It didn't beat much last start, but it was a fairly stylish victory and a dominant win, and it's got a lot of a touch of class about it as well. I've gone 5 from 8, 9 and 1 in race 3.
Yeah, look, a terrific race. This lead up to the Golden Nugget preview, very important race for these horses to try and push their way in. I'm going Nathan Street. Difficult draw, but it has raced against some very good horses over East, Same American, Bay of Biscay, Best Deal, those type of horses in its form, and had very good juvenile form. Used to over race a bit, that was one of its issues, but the tip is, in particular listening to Junior there, very happy with the horse. Tricky speed map, putting it on top just on its class from a Copycat Queen, very, very classy mare. Could get the drop on them here if this race works out and they work a bit. Tualoo and Nathan Street tactically be very interesting. I've gone for Nathan Street to beat Copycat Queen and Tualoo. I think they're the main 3 with Blaze Away the other one. Blaze Away hood on. Not sure whether he'll hold up. It more than likely will. They might have a look at him out of the gate. Dark Eyes can come out reasonably quick, but it'll probably do enough. Blaze Away. Dark Eyes I had a little concern about pinging him at the gate. But time will tell with that. I've gone 9, 5, 8 and 1.
9, 5, 8 and 1 for Glenn, 5, 8, 9 and 1 for Richie, and 9, 8, 5 and 1 for Ollie. Race 4 is the Sky Racing Active San Simeon Pace over the 21.30. Number 6, Mr. Smarty, $1.80 is your favourite. In from $2.50. 1 Longreach Bay at 91. 2 Hillview Bondi triple figures. 3 Armour X Factor 20 into 13. 4 Swing Band at 34. 5 Lasaka at 16. 7 He's a Sport $11, 8 Laveridge 041, the 9 Minstrel 7 into $3.80. Some money there for Minstrel. 10 Better Eclipse at 16, 11 Never Ending $11, and 12 Bricky's Dream at 26. Rich, if you wanted to kick us off here.
Yeah, it's a tricky race with so much quality, but to Mr. Snarty, just with that better draw now, coming in a bit closer to the inside, he should be able to get his opportunity to try and dominate this race. How he goes about it is the question, but he's got the class and he's got the driver. So I've got 6 on top. Mr. Smarty Minstrel was enormous, winning last start. Was able to roll to the front, quick lead time, and then just keep running sectionals and doing the job really well there for Danny Roberts, and looks certainly the horse to beat. For third, I put in Lasaka, number 5, is drawn underneath of Mr. Smarty, which could be important in the wash-up. Hoping for a better run from Never Ending, who was a little bit off its game last start. Was very good the run before second up after being a bit ring rusty, but still good enough first up. So wouldn't be surprised if Never Ending caused a bit of an upset if they go hard. But I've gone 6 to win it from 9, 5 and 11.
Yeah, more it's top of draw, Never Ending, so it should be running on late. Mr. Smarty, look, there might be a couple of issues underneath Mr. Smarty early. Armour X Factor likes to get forward. Lusaka maybe, but I don't think they can get involved in too big a war. I think Mr. Smarty's objective would be to get to the breeze and control from there. Clearly, Minstrel, the main danger. Plenty of money around for Minstrel. Got out to that $7 and heavily supported in. Can be put in the race. And I think that'll all be dependent on whether Mr. Smarty is in the breeze or whether he works his way to the front. I'm sure he'll be driven very aggressively here tonight. 6 from 9. Mr. Smarty from Minstrel. The 3, Armour X Factor, got the money last week at very good odds for the punters. And the 7, Gee, he's a sport. Classy horse from the Fremantle Cup, and Nullarbor put it in to run 4th, 6, 9, 3 and 7.
I was really keen to be with Mr. Smarty in this race, but I did think he's come up a pretty short quote. There is quite a bit of speed underneath him. If he is able to find the front, he's going to be incredibly hard to beat. But Armour X Factor was able to beat him fair and square last start. Obviously, Mr. Smarty had a tough trip there. He did draw gate 9, got back, and it was really tough to get into that race. But I thought Armour X Factor might chance his arm again in this race, and from that perspective, that would probably mean that Mr. Smarty was slightly too short, but if he does roll to the top, certainly he is an odds-on quote. He's a Sport is a really capable sit sprinter. I think he'll press forward in this race. If he was able to find the 1-1, 1-2 type thing on Minstrel, I think he'd be really hard to hold out. He's a very, very capable sit sprinter, and he's run some big races in some of the feature races, so I think he has to be respected in this race. Minstrel, it's a really tough draw for him, gate 9. He's going to have to do a lot of work, and I think he might find a couple better today, but he's certainly going to run a good race, and he's third up from a spell, and I've got better Eclipse in for 4th, who is maybe going to need the run by the sound of things, but we know he's a very classy horse. 6, 7, 9, 10.
6, 7, 9 and 10 for Ollie, 6, 9, 3 and 7 for Glenn, and 6, 9, 5 and 11 for Rich. Race 5 is the big one, the Sky Racing WA Derby, Group 1 at Group 1 level over the 25-36, Rumble Strip at $3.90. In from 420 to faking it 370 to 330. 3 is out, it's confidential, and so is 6 Sweet on Lexi. 4 Troubadour 12 into $4.20. 5 Elite Fleet 34. 7 Captain Sterling. There has been a couple of scratchings. Take note with these fluctuations. The 8 Mad Monday at 23. 9 Belly Up $16. 10 Chase Me $4.40 out to $7. 11 Runkle Crunch at 10. The 12 When in Vegas 41. And the 2 Emergencies both going to run. The 13 Lincoln Lou at $15 and 14 Control the Room at 81. Gentlemen, if Ollie, you'd like to kick things off here in the Derby.
Yeah, well, it's a fantastic race. As I mentioned earlier, it's an even race. There's certainly a few horses that have strong claims, and I've put Rumble Strip on top. I've been really impressed by this horse this time in. He's a horse that has shown a lot of toughness, and from gate 1, if he is able to show enough gate speed to lead, I think he's going to prove incredibly hard to catch. He seems to have reasonable gate speed, so I think there's a fair chance he can find himself leading, and from there, he's certainly the horse to beat. Runkle Crunch was incredibly unlucky last start. He just had nowhere to go at a crucial stage, and he looked to be travelling easily. I thought if he did get out, he would have won that race. I'm really keen to include him at what looks to be a good each-way quote at the moment. So I think if there's a bit of speed on, he's one of the ones that's going to be running into it late from a really good draw. Faking it, we've seen her be so dominant against the fillies. She was unlucky last start, probably just made her run a little bit too late and was left with a bit too much to do, and finished 3rd there, but lost no admirers. They ran fast time. I think she's going to be hard to beat in this race. And Chase Me, drawn inside the back row, looks a bit of an awkward draw for him, but if he is able to hold the back of Rumble Strip and Rumble Strip's in front, he's going to get every chance from there. 1, 11, 2, 10.
Glenn, is she up to winning against the boys here, Faking?
Well, a filly favourite for the Derby, amazing, isn't it? Really, you'd really get fillies sort of figuring in a race like this, but she's a very, very classy staying filly, and she's got a reasonable draw. I think she's a definite top 4 chance in a very open race here. The caveat for me about this race and Rumble Strip, which I've selected to win, is what they do with Lincoln Lou at the start. Now, Lincoln Lou did let loose at this same barrier, the 2500 previously, and it could change the context of this race in terms of the speed maps, which we've probably got Rumble Strip leading, and he may well lead. But all of a sudden, if this changes and Lincoln Lou does get involved and crosses, then decisions are to be made after that, and you'd want to be the first to him, I guess, and that would be, I guess, the plan for Troubadour and the plan for Faking It after, if that did happen. Look, I'm trying to put that out of my mind, but I think it's a factor, and will be one for the birdcage tonight. I'm just going to go with Rumble Strip to do enough and lead and control the race, provided he doesn't get cut up. The 10, therefore, becomes a danger. I think Chase Mee's going to appreciate being held up for a run on the fence. I think it's a real rail horse here, and we'll get an opportunity, 1 from 10. The 2, Faking It. She'll run a good race. It's a tricky little setup for her now with what could happen outside her. She won't want to get shuffled. She'll want to maintain a forward position early and probably just let one go. Troubadour, I'd imagine, would be the one she'd want to sit on. Nothing else. That'd be the plan. So I've gone 1-10, 2 Faking It, and then it's either Troubadour or Runkle Crunch, which I've been backing until my nose bleeds. I went for Troubadour. The wraps are so big from the camp. Denny choosing to drive. I've just lent that way. 1, 10, 2 and 4.
And if there's any confusion out there, Lincoln Lou's drawn 6, of course, and Control the Room comes into 3. Just talk to us about Lincoln Lou's gate speed, Glenn, because on occasions it's really flashed out of the gates. On other occasions maybe it hasn't been pushed out as hard. Yeah,
I think last week was very much the way the mobile barrier left.
Right.
And they were 100 miles an hour, and it was impossible, the way the gate left, for anything to cross each other. They all came out alongside each other, and it created a problem for Lincoln Lou, and everybody had a crossing. But because that gate left at such a fast speed, and the runners were all wound up, it was very difficult. The previous one, the gate was different, and it was the 2,500 metre mark, and this is an opportunity here. If the gate does go in the same manner as it did the night Lincoln Lou crossed Troubadour, it may well happen again, and will change the context of this race, Richie.
Very intriguing. So one of the indeterminates, I guess, is that speed of the mobile. It is the 2,500, and Lincoln Lou might be aided by actually drawing out in 6 as opposed to gate 3, where Control the Room will start from.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Faking It here, number 2. I'm thinking Lincoln Lou is going to bounce out and just make it that little bit interesting early, and Madison can sit there quietly on Faking It, and we'll have the last shot in the end, and she's super strong. So 2 Faking It on top to score. I thought Runkle Crunch could run a bit of a race here. Has been looking for the 2,500, can keep winding up. For third, I've actually put in Belly Up, number 9. If there is a bit of early pressure, I think this horse can get home very strongly. And then I got Rumble Strip back in for 4th. I go over Rumble Strip in the last few months. I didn't really see him as a Derby. I saw him as a Derby horse, but not as a Derby winner. But now that he's got gate number 1 and he's pretty tough, I agree with Ollie. He's got a super chance.
And breezed to 155.4 last week. A pretty good run, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, he's got a lot of bottom to it. So 2 on top, Faking It from number 11, Runkle Crunch, 9 Belly Up and 1 Rumble Strip.
2, 11, 9 and 1 for Rich, 1, 10, 2 and 4 for Glenn, and 1, 11, 2 and 10 for Ollie. Race 6, the follow at Sky Racing on Instagram, Norm's Daughter preview over the 21.30. Wonderful to Fly, favourite $1.65 from Alta Allure 81, 3 Sweet Vivian 11 into $5, 4 Dame Valor 41, 5 Little Darling 10 into $4.20, 6 Queen in the Corner triple figures, 7 Nace Vera 34, 8 The Wand Waver triple figures, 9 Sweet Cocoa 18, 10 Princess Katie at 19, 11 Exceptional Armour 23 and 12 Lion Queen, $4 out to $12 a big drifter. Glenn, if you'd like to steer us into race 6.
Yes, Riley. Look, 1 for the birdcage tonight. The tactics of Shane Young. I'm sure he'd want to lead. I'm sure Chris Voke would want to lead with Sweet Vivian. Plenty of money for both horses, actually. Sweet Vivian did open a longer price. Chris Voke will be aggressive. I'm going to lean to the fact that Shane Young here, I think, will elect to lead. Whether Chris Folk pushes on will be interesting. I've gone 1 from 3. Wonderful Fly from Sweet Vivian. Handicapping wise, Wonderful Fly's got him really well here. Junior referred to it. Just because of the conditions of this race, the last $2.15,000, it put Sweet Cocoa out wide. And you've got these tightly assessed horses having the advantage here, which a little unusual. 1, 3, 10, Princess Katie loves that type of draw, railed through, and 5 Little Darling capable of winning. 1, 3, 10 and 5.
It's an interesting race, isn't it, this one? I probably saw it a little bit differently, but the market says I might have seen it incorrectly. I thought Sweet Vivian could nearly push onto the front. I think Chris Folk will be pretty aggressive, and if he does find the front, I think he'll be winning on Sweet Vivian. Wonderful to Fly, certainly if she does lead, then she's going to be incredibly hard to catch and probably nearing peak fitness here, third up, and was a good run last out, getting into 6 from back in the field. Little Darling could be suited by a bit of speed on the early stages. She has been great her last few runs, and she is going to be hard to hold out. Lion Queen is a horse that has probably different form lines to a lot of these mares. She's been taking on some of the 4-year-olds, and I think it's quite a strong form line. So if the speed is on, I think she can be running into it late. And I've got Wonderful to Fly in for 4th, who I think is going to be hard to beat if she can lead and get it cheap enough. But if she cops some pressure, I'm probably going to be against her. 3, 5, 12, 1.
Yeah, Wonderful Fly's come back in pretty good form. The first up run was pretty good behind Penny Black and Artie by the Seaside. Had its chance and battled hard up the straight. And then last start was really seen whizzing home when the race was all over. So I think she's going well. She's drawn the inside. She's got 2 opportunities. And I think she'll go really close. You wouldn't want to be taking the $1.65 currently on offer, though. But I've got her on top, number 1, from 3, Sweet Vivian. Agree with Ollie, if it can lead, and it's a big chance of doing that, it'd be very hard to run down. 11, Exceptional Armour. Some of her runs last campaign were actually exceptional, and she's working into form. She's had 1 run back, and I thought she could get the right sort of trip to maybe run into a place at a big price to throw some value in. And Little Darling's going really well as well. Not sure where she gets to in the run. Maybe ends up outside of the leader. I've gone 1 to win from 3, 11 and 5.
1, 3, 11 and 5. Glenn's numbers 1, 3, 10 and 5. And Ollie's 3, 5, 12 and 11. Race 7, the Sky Racing Listen Live pace over 21.30. 1 pocket the change, a $20 chance. The 2 Tantabiddy 7 into 440. 3 Beat the Bank at 12. In from 61, 4 Franco Mecca 41. 5 Grevis 11. 6 Her Presence 245 out to $4. 7 Hale St. Louis 750 to 4. The 8 Chivalry 8 to 5. 9 Louis LeBeau triple figures. 10 Velocipede 41. 11 Fly to the Finish at 14. In from 34. And 12 Good Time Louis at $12 out from 5. Rich?
I sort of like it when Tantabiddy takes up a bit of a market and gets back, because when it draws to be pushed early and there's a bit of strength in the race, I think it's a bit vulnerable, a bit suspect. Her Presence was, I thought, terrific last start. I know this is a deeper race, but it was just the way it went about that victory. It just won with consummate ease in a 155.8. And I think this horse is getting a lot better now. So I'm going to go with Gary Hall Jr. to get the right sort of run here with Her Presence. It's his sort of drive from a middle draw where he can work into a position and then zip home. So I've got 6 on top, Her Presence. To beat number 8, Chivalry, who's going really well. Its last 2 runs have been very good in strong company. Last start second at Bricky's Dream was a really good effort. And the run before that was very good as well indeed, and that was behind the Iron Duke, who we rate a big chance earlier on. For third, I'm going to put in number 2, Tantabiddy, just because it's going to be up there and it's got the gate speed early. And for fourth, number 7, Hale St. Louis, who's very well found in the market, 420 into about $3.80, and does look a leading player. It is a little tricky draw, but it can go forward early maybe. And if Tantabiddy wanted to take a sit, maybe that could be the horse, Hale St. Louis. But I've gone 6 on top from number 6 to beat 8, and then 2 and 7.
Yeah, look, not a bad race. Chivalry, for me, drops out of the Bricky's Dream form, led in that free-for-all, very hard to run down. Bricky's Dream picked it up. Previous form, led, just got beat by Iron Duke. Really strong form here, Chivalry to drop back into this. Awkward draw, but I'm going to lean to Chivalry to beat Her Presence as the other one. Definitely approaching best form of its career. 8 from 6 to 5, Grevis. Very good first up for the new stable. And 2, Tenabitty, the early lead, I'd say. Decisions to be made after that. 8, 6, 5 and 2.
I'm with you a little bit here, Richie. I can't really understand why Tenabitty's been backed. I don't think he's racing well. He's a month between runs. I couldn't see him figure in this race, however it plays out. So I'm keen to be against him, even though he is quite a short price at the moment. I'm keen to be with Chivalry. He's the class runner. That was a much stronger race he came out of last start. He certainly has been taking on stronger company than this. He can get forward. He races well up on speed, and I think he can look to dominate this race. Beat the Bank did a lot of work last start in a race that was taken out by Overly Excited. One of the Derby runners was in that race in Lincoln Lou, and he finished just behind them, Beat the Bank. So I thought it was a good enough effort, and he can certainly be hard enough to beat in a race like this. Good Time Louis has a good draw here off the back row. He could get a good run into the race, I think, and can be hard to hold out late. He was a good winner a couple of starts ago, doing a lot of work, so has to be respected, and her presence was a terrific winner last start, but it looks a little bit awkward from gate 6. 8, 3, 12, 6.
8, 3, 12 and 6 for Ollie, 8, 6, 5 and 2 for Glen, 6, 8, 2 and 7 there for Richie. Race 8 is the Sky Racing Watch Live pace. Over the 21.30, Jolted Charm favourite at 4.40, out from 3.20. 2 Siangdi, 9 into 4.80. 3 Cherry on the Cake, $7. 4 I'm Rockin' Rodder Scratching. 5 Sun Publisher, 5 out to 7.50. 6 Sundancer Rainbow, 71. The 7 Burley Shard at 23. 8 Lil Happy Fella, 17 into 8.50. 9 Your Grace at $10, in from 15. 10, It's Okay to Be Grey, 11 out to 18. 11, Sammy Sufferell, $3.70 to $10. And 12, Take a Hike, 12 into 5. Ollie, if you wanted to kick things off here.
I was keen to have a horse which might need a little bit of luck on top here, and that's Little Happy Fella. This horse comes out of a much stronger race. They went 155, and he drops a long way in class here. From gate 8, he's a horse that probably needs to be set up to do his best work, so he's going to get back. He's going to be relying on a little bit of speed being on, but I think there will be a bit of speed on. Cherry on the Cake will want to get forward. Jolted Charm will want to hold up, and I think Sun Publisher is another horse that will probably look to get forward and apply some pressure in the race along with Burley Shard. So if that does eventuate and there is a bit of speed on, I think Little Happy Fella is a fantastic each-way proposition and is going to be hard to hold out. He seemed to just do a few things wrong and was tailed off at one point last start, but he hit the line quite well late, and I thought it was a good enough effort. Take a Hike, I think, is going to get a good run off the speed in this race, and he can be running into it late. He's been pretty good last few starts, so looking for him to run on late. I have Jolted Charm in there for third. I think if there is pressure in the race, she's probably one that's going to be a little bit vulnerable late, but if she holds up and there's no pressure, she's going to be hard to run down. And It's Okay to Be Grey is a horse that probably needs this type of run just behind the speed on the pegs, and he's going to get every opportunity if he can get a run at them late. He's got a bit of speed, so I think he can be hard to hold out at a decent each-way price. 8, 12, 1, 10.
Yeah, I've gone for... we're running out of time here, boys, but I've gone for Little Happy Fella as well. From Shandy, the 3 Cherry on the Cake, and the 1 Jolted Charm. Little Happy Fella to win. 8, 2, 3 and 1.
Yep, I've gone Little Happy Fella as well, which is pretty amazing. It's a $9 chance, and it's a clean sweep on the panel. 8 to win from 9 Your Grace Racing Well. 12 Take a Hike. Another lay from the inside, Jolted Charm, I think. 8, 9, 12 and 1.
8, 9, 12 and 1 for Rich. 8, 2, 3 and 1 for Glen. 8, 12, 1 and 10 for Ollie. We can just get to the news a little bit late, boys.
Thank you, Doug. Very good.
That's all right. We'll survive. The boys on the Greyhounds might just be up against it a little bit later on once they get through chasing winners. Race 9, the Good Luck Gary Hall Jr. 2-year-old fillies pace over the 17.30. 1 Sharika, $61. 2 price of admission, $151. 3 Miss Bejeweled, $14. 4 Ideal Diamond at 4. The 5 Viva Lost Wages, $12. 6 Drop the Ace at 13. 7 I'm Category 5, the short price favourite at $1.34, and 8 Sweeter the Better at $13. Glenn, if you wanted to take it away.
Yes, Riley. Look, I'm Category 5, very, very classy filly. First up, we haven't seen a trial, so we've a little bit of guesswork there. We went for the parade ring tonight, just to make sure that Madison and Colin Brown are very happy with her, but she's got the class to win this. 7 to win from 3 Miss Bejeweled. It's got the draw to figure. It does hang down a bit. Hard horse to drive, but capable. The 5 Viva Los Wages, I've got it in as the value. They bet $21. Very unlucky at Pinjo. If you look at that replay, it ran into every dead end and got to the line strongly late. I think its horse is going to win a race shortly. And the 4 Ideal Diamond, both its race starts have been excellent. Put it in to run 4th, 7, 3, 5 and 4.
I have, I'm category 5 firmly on top here. We know she's one of the class fillies in the state, and she was obviously so good there behind Wishing Bell, who clearly is the standout 2-year-old filly. So I'm keen to have her on top. Ideal Diamond was a terrific win on debut. Horses don't do that from where she was in the run. She ran over the top, ran fast time. So keen to have her in for second. Last start, she was run down there, but she was only having her second start, and it was her first run at the track and distance. So I think third up into this race, she can find a positive position in the race, and she can be right there around about the placings. Miss Bejeweled, she has a bit of speed. She can get forward too and can run a race from there. And Drop the Ace is another horse with a bit of speed and was a solid winner from back in the field last start, 7, 4, 3, 6.
Yeah, it just looks too good for them. I'm category 5 on that Wishing Bell form and the times that she can run, and she can do work in her races as well. So it's hard to find a chink in her armour. Number 7, I'm category 5 from 6, Drop the Ace. It was terrific, flashing home to win. 5, Viva Las Vegas Wages. Glenn's touched on how unlucky she was last start. Put her in for 3rd, and Ideal Diamond in for 4th. They did get run down by Sweeter the Better, so I was a little disappointed there. But 7, 6, 5 and 4.
7, 6, 5 and 4 for Rich, 7, 3, 5 and 4 for Glenn, and 7, 4, 3 and 6 for Ollie. Final race on the program tonight on a Group 1 night of racing at Gloucester Park. The hashtag Sky Racing 3-year-old fillies pace over the 17.30. Number 1, your favourite Fabulous Dream. 2 into $1.75. 2 Delulu at $5.50. 3 Spirited Whitby triple figures. 4 Hunger Strike at 19. 5 Kinky at 20. 6 Our Rich Cargo 15 in from 17. Got as long as 51. 7 Captains Have Time at $3.50 in from $4.20, and 8 Raynette $7.50 out to $9.50.
Do you see Fabulous Dream holding the lead here, Glenn?
I do. Yeah, I think it'll do enough to hold the lead, Richie.
Is that a pernicious position for it, considering all the bond runners there?
It could be vulnerable. It'd be interesting early. Denny very confident, and rightly so. Captains Have Times dropped out of a very strong form line. So she's very confident that she'll be outside Fabulous Dream, and applying some pressure there. Delulu, I'd imagine, will drop in behind the leader.
And should be improved off that run from Tuesday, Delulu. I'm going to go that way, actually, Delulu. I was quite impressed by the run. Took a while to wind up. It hit the line. Just going to get the right sort of run here. Captains Have Time. It's going to have to do some bullocking work. I see it as the main danger. And then 1 Fabulous Dream, I think might have a bit against it here. And for 4th, I'll put in Rich Cargo, Rich Cargo, number 6. In next best. So 2 on top from 7, 1 and 6.
I was keen to have Fabulous Dream on top here. I thought she was a very good winner there on Tuesday in a race that changed complexion pretty quickly. Bodine Hunter.
An unlikely winner at the 400-metre mark, you'd have to say.
Yeah, not quite Kingston Town, but she was able to score a nice win. Obviously, probably the beneficiary of Bodine Hunter making a break at a crucial stage after hitting the front and looking to race away. But she still had to be good enough, and she was. And I think from here, if she does lead and was able to control things, then she's certainly going to be hard to run down. I think if she does cop a bit of pressure, the 1700 probably works in her favour a little bit, and she can maybe get away with it. Delulu, I think, will drop in behind the leader, should get every chance from there, and was a good second last start in that same race. Hunger Strike is a horse that was 4th last start, but following a good speed there, and I think can probably get a good run off the speed in this race and could be running on late. Captains Have Time was ultra impressive in that recent win and certainly has to be respected. Going to have to do a bit of work in this race, which is a bit of a query, but she is up to it. 1, 2, 4, 7.
Yeah, and Raynette's the other one, of course, that's classy form. Raynette, it's won classic races and also the Southwest Derby last week. And 5th in the Oats of Faken. It's pretty good form for this race. 157, middle half 59 home, and 58.7 to run 5th, I think it was, in that race. Very strong form line, leading to Fabulous Dream at the 1730 metres to win. From the 7, Captains Have Time. The 8, Raynette, and the 2, Delulu, just camped in there, dangerous. 1, 7, 8 and 2.
1, 7, 8 and 2 for Glenn. Richie 2, 7, 1 and 6. And Ollie, 1, 2, 4 and 7. That wraps up our look at the Gloucester Park program on WA Derby night. Boys, do we have any best bets on the program? We might start with you, Glenn.
Yeah, okay. Look, I'm going to play Mr. Smarty. I think he can win tonight. Race 4, number 6. Into Wonderful to Fly, race 6, number 1. Into race 9, number 7, I'm category 5, those 3. A couple of each-way bets. I think Nathan Street should be each-way odds, race 3, number 9, each way. And each-way Chivalry, I think he's a reasonable price. Race 7, number 8, Chivalry each way as well.
I was keen to be with race 1, number 10, Sugar Street. I think this horse is a really good each-way proposition, and if he gets into the clear late, he's going to be hard to hold out. And later in the card, I was keen to be with race 7, number 8, Chivalry. I think he's going to be hard to beat back in class.
I'm going to go a bit of value here in race 2, Soho Vesperland, number 2 at around about the $7. And also in the last race 10, Delulu, number 2. I think it's a 40 a win, 60 a place investment.
Beautifully done, boys. Thanks for having me and allowing me to sit in on the preview.
Thanks for the extra time too. Being Derby Day, we needed to cover that pretty well.
That's okay, Glenn. We need to make the most of the time that we have remaining
very
here
true.
at Tab Radio.
You've adapted well, Riley. You've jumped out of the saddle into the car.
Did a big job.
And congratulations with your horse winning at Belmont on Wednesday as well.
Rolling in
Rich.
cash.
Yeah, going superbly for the new connections is Mia Gusto. That's all from us on the Gloucester Park preview on this Friday morning. We're going to head to the news a little bit later than usual, and the boys for Chasing Winners will be back on the other side.